is Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking Q4, everything you need to know, all of the updates for 2025. Listen, every year is a little bit different, and this year is going to be a lot different. And so you need to know what to expect. Here is just my point of view, my perspective, and what I'm watching out for coming into this holiday season. So let's go. If this is your first Q4 in the e-commerce world, welcome. Selling on Amazon and Walmart through these next couple months, October through December, can be extremely lucrative and also very trying. I mean, it's usually hand in hand with I can make a lot of money, but also there's going to be a good amount of headache associated with that. It is not all rainbows and butterflies. And I want to make sure that after you watch this video, you're kind of prepared for some of the things I see coming and things that have happened in the past that I foresee happening again this season. We have a lot of holidays and events over the next couple months. We have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Prime Days, and then just like the holidays from Halloween we're getting ready for, Thanksgiving, and then the whole gear up and prep for Christmas. The next couple months, I lock in. I have historically done a ton of merchant fulfillment, which if you do not know is where you get the order, you list it, and then you fulfill it. You send it to a customer on Amazon or Walmart. This has been my main style of selling on these platforms in the past, and I don't want to say I'm not going to do it this year, but it's not going to be my primary focus for several reasons. I've been doing this a long time. I think this is my 8th or 9th Q4. I fulfill tons and tons of orders I have in the past years, and I am getting old and tired. I think selling is like dog years, and after you've done it like 3 or 4 years, you're like, oh my God, I never want to do that again. So I'm really focused this year on sending in all of my product in early WFS or FBA and offloading most of the work that I can. Now, I don't want to say like, of course, why wouldn't everybody do that? That's a big easy button. There's several reasons why merchant fulfillment can be so lucrative and why I focused on it so heavy in the past. So never say never. I have liked merchant fulfillment in the past. Well, last year, if you guys remember, Amazon would only let you send inventory that was going to be processed by Q4, like really early. What was it? September, October, maybe you had to get all your inventory in for Q4 or something like that. So I just knew like I'm not going to have my inventory into a warehouse that soon. So I knew I was going to have to merchant fulfill. This year, I don't know what the deadline is going to be, what the restrictions. Merchant fulfillment can be a great strategy, especially if this is new to you and you don't want to send in a bunch of inventory to a warehouse that might get stranded, might get lost, might get tanked, you might get regated. And so what you do is list it yourself, and so you can kind of control your numbers. Especially if you're doing arbitrage, you can grab 5 Bluey dolls, sell them, go get 5 more. You can kind of use this strategy to really test the waters and see what works best for you. So I have really focused on that in the past, and I have really been successful doing that. I think where I have struggled is when I start scaling that over the next couple months. I am so burnt out by January that my business suffers for months, so I can get my life back on track. And I know, like, if you're new to this or you're not familiar with merchant, you're like, oh my gosh, she's such a baby. I'll fulfill like 400 to 500 orders a day for a month. So I'm a one-woman show. I can get my husband to help out and my parents every once in a while, but that is a lot for one person. Although I made a ton of money and I'm glad I did that, I don't want to continue to do that. First important thing I want to tell you, each year, both of these platforms, Amazon and Walmart, will roll out updates or new guidelines for Q4. Years ago, Amazon was really strict. If you wanted to sell toys merchant in November and December, you had to jump through these hoops. They changed that, but they still internally do something. I don't know what the number is, but if you're not doing, last year, I wasn't selling a lot of toys before Q4. And I'll tell you this, coming into Q4, I was gated and restricted on most toys. So that was a mistake I don't plan on making again. It seems like if you continue to sell and continue to do numbers, you have more open and available to you to sell, versus if you come in cold in November, you might not have a lot available to you to sell. That's on the Amazon side. On the Walmart side, sit down, buckle in. They introduced CPC documents, and I've complained about Walmart a lot on here. My biggest complaint about these CPTC documents is you go to submit them and they don't accept them. It's like a glitch in the system. You have the actual CPC documents and it's very difficult. And I'll get them to be submitted for a week or two, send in inventory, and then they're back in error. So that to me is a really big red flag coming into the holiday season. Why I will not be sending in toys, why I'm not going deep on toys on Walmart, because I think it's a ticking time bomb that at some point they're going to require CPC documents for a bunch of toys, and or they're going to regate the toy category. This is rumored. I think they've said it like toys under 3, toys under 6. I've heard toys under 12. For kids under 12, they're going to be gated and you're going to have to go through all of these extra steps to be able to sell them. Okay, fine. We're all used to getting ungated and approved to sell products, but the bigger issue is they've been making changes that they don't have the infrastructure to sustain internally. So if you reach out and say, hey, I want to get ungated, I have an LOA, I have an invoice, you don't hear back for a long time. Once they initially rolled out restrictions in the beauty category, I opened a case and I could go into my cases right now and see when I opened that, but it is July 22nd. I don't know what today's date is. It's August 18th. So almost a full month of an open case, and it is to get ungated. Have not had a response yet because they are flooded with sellers trying to get ungated in categories. So this is what I'm talking about. They made a change and they don't know, they can't get back to all of the sellers. So imagine if you were selling on this platform, you did have an LOA, you did have the documents, and now you have inventory stranded for a full month waiting to get approved to sell. What if that happens in November? What if it happens in December? You've missed the entire Q4 period and you don't get ungated till January 1st. I foresee this happening, and it's why I've talked a lot about not selling in toys. I'm currently selling off my toys on Walmart. I'm super irritated with this platform. I hope and pray that beauty, pet sellers, toy sellers pull all of their inventory and Walmart is left with nobody, and we all move back to Amazon, because Amazon is becoming more user-friendly for the seller side, because they want to make changes that affect their third-party sellers without understanding the effect this has on small businesses. I'm over it completely. I have a lot of only negative things to say about this, but I would really encourage you to be careful when you're sitting in inventory on Walmart, because I think they're going to pull out more restrictions coming into Q4. It'll be immediate, like they did last time, where they sent out an email and then 24 hours later, they shut down a category, forcing hundreds, if not thousands of business into bankruptcy because you cannot pull back. I'm just so irritated with them right now. I don't trust them, and they've shown us how they are going to be treating third-party sellers, and I think we need to remember this lesson. Obviously, tons of stuff you can sell in Q4 besides toys. In fact, my first Q4 I locked into selling, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going big. It was 30 days. I sold $100,000 on merchant only. So that was me fulfilling all the products, and I was gated in toys. That was on Amazon. So I was really selling a lot of like grocery products. Understanding the key dates that are coming, so you know when you need to sell products by. For instance, Halloween is really so much bigger than one day now. It's like the whole month. You'll see Halloween already in stores, Nightmare Before Christmas. A lot of these products, from toys to candy to dress up clothes and all of it, just so much better than just one day. So there's not a hard cut deadline. Once Halloween ends, all this stuff is going to be dead in the water, but it does mean for sellers, you can pick up really great clearance stuff after Halloween and continue to sell it through the rest of the year. Thanksgiving is really the gear up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and having all of my ducks in a row, inventory at a warehouse so I can maximize sales the next day. It is definitely this click a light switch after Thanksgiving, locked in for sales. What's on, what do our kids want for the holidays, for Christmas? We are shopping, and that will reflect in sales. So even if you're not going heavy into Christmas, heavy into seasonal, you will feel the effects of everybody shopping on your catalog. It is mid-August, and then I leave this weekend for the Seller Summit in San Diego. I'm so excited. I hope to see you guys there. So I'm already planning on getting all of my inventory in. We're just kind of getting through back to school season. I'm getting all of that out the door. And as soon as I get back, I'm pushing all of my inventory in. I've dusted off my Amazon account. If you know, you know. Sometimes it's hard to keep both platforms going, and that's been the case for me. And also Amazon regating all of their complications with their catalog and taking down listings. I've taken a giant step back, but I'm excited to jump back in the Amazon game and start singing inventory. With everything that's going, uncertainty on Walmart, I think I need Amazon. I want to sell toys in Q4. Toys are on clearance at my Walmart. I don't feel comfortable sending them into a WFS anymore. So Amazon it is. I will let you know how that goes and what that journey looks like. With Walmart clearancing out toys, I think we all have this FOMO, like run to the store, grab all the toys, put it in the cart. Here's what you need to know. Toys are on sale across the country at Walmart, and they tend to be the same toys. So tanking around these products is insane. And this morning I was at Walmart and I was scanning stuff that was like $1.50, really great prices. But at least on Walmart, there's so many sellers. The price was already low. And on Amazon, there were no good listings. So for me, I'm taking a bunch of pictures. This is what I used to do. It's something like still going back to the drawing board. It still works for me in my process of sourcing, taking all the pictures, coming home and sitting at a computer and figuring out what listings look good and I feel comfortable jumping on, because as you and I know, the catalog cleanup on Amazon, getting deactivated, restricted, compliance issues because you're listing on listings that are not supposed to be up, it's a real invalid fear. And I think we all have to be smarter in selling and move away from just quickly posting and listing from our phone, because like when you scan a product on Amazon from your phone, you're not seeing everything on the listing. It is likely you're missing information that will help keep you protected and safe. This is why I talk a lot about Seller Amp as a third-party seller on both platforms, because we need a tool that we have on our phone that when we're outsourcing, we can it's connected to our Amazon account. You can scan a product and it's quickly going to show you the big pieces of information you need to know. Is it categorized correctly? This is a confusing one for new sellers. They're not sure what that means. Does your receipt match the listing? If you get IP'd, if you need a receipt to prove it's authentic, does everything match? Does it show what you bought and what you sold? Because if it doesn't, it's not going to protect you. So when you scan a listing, does it come up with Barbie or does it come up with generic? Because if it's generic, it's going to be an issue. Is the listing correct? Does it have IPs? Is the brand selling? Are there any suspicious third-party sellers on the listing that have maybe a ton of quantity? They're wholesale, something that looks like they're always standing even when all the other sellers are gone. Maybe they IP'd all the other sellers. So I love scanning and just going through like this whole checklist in my brain of, is this listing healthy? Am I going to get in trouble for selling it? Because remember, you don't have to have inventory. You don't even have to be selling a product actively to get IP'd and have issues with the actual listing. So going through a process of checks to make sure like it's all done correctly before you list your product is going to keep your account healthy. Not only this, but having Keepa charts like right there at your fingertips is honestly a game changer. I don't say that lightly. To be able to see like in the past 3 months what the price has done. So for instance, I'm scanning toys at Walmart today, and yes, they're cheap at my store, but I see that Amazon is always in stock at $14.99. Sellers, there's tons of sellers that jumped on in the past month and they're all at like $12.99, $11.99. And it just seems like every day more sellers jump on and the price is going down. Like all those things lead to red flag. It's going to be a world of hurt and tanking over the next couple months. Maybe just don't pick it up. That kind of stuff saves me a lot of money. And I know we think of clearance of like, oh, it's just $1.50. All of those dollars tend to add up. I spend a ton of money every month on clearance. And if I just casually went in and bought everything that looked good because it was cheap, I don't think I would still be in business. So I'm trying to really lock in, especially because I know my budget is going to be tight over the next couple months because I'm going to find tons of stuff everything's going to be selling and I'm going to want to source all the time. So every penny needs to be working smart for me. So I am putting in so much effort on the research side before I even purchase. And I want to say, if you're like, what's the key to your success? That's it. Not being swept up in FOMO, BOLOs, weird groups people are paying thousands of dollars to get into. I have my process that works for me and eye on the prize. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to find. And that's that. Like, I know my ROI and I'm really meticulous at reading through the listings, reading through the data, making sure before I even swipe it at the Walmart register or Target register, I know what I'm looking at before I jump into the deep end. And I honestly think more sellers like slow down, create a process. It'll save you a lot of heartache. Okay, a couple more notes about Q4. If you're not familiar with the season, if you haven't sold before, storage typically goes up. So the fees for Amazon and Walmart to store your product. Now, did I just hear that Walmart was not raising fees in Q4 to actually store your product? I think I did, which is great, but that's still like what, 50 cents? But fees across the board over the next couple months do increase from shipping, USPS, UPS, FedEx, to store, to everything is more expensive. Take that into account when you're buying your product, because your Skittle candy canes you thought were profitable, your shipping to get them to customers just went up $1. So, I mean, everything does go up. It really cuts into your bottom line, especially on those like stocking stuffer candies. So that usually starts in October. We're coming up on that like freaking tomorrow. October will be here. The return window is extended. So everything you're selling, and listen, Halloween costumes have crazy returns anyways, but everything you're selling can probably be returned till the end of January. So if you're selling something with high return rate, just add it in there of the whole list of things we need to keep accounted for, but returns are wild over the next, especially in the like toys and Halloween costumes. Those are the two main things that if you start dabbling in those categories, expect an enormous amount of returns. To end, I want to give you my best tip that I have for you to make the most in Q4, and it is this. And it is very basic, and it's gonna be a little bit time consuming, but you will think, I promise you, you're gonna thank me. Every year, I tend to get wrapped up in the FOMO of winning the buy box. I drop the price and I'm selling and I'm so excited. I'm selling hundreds, thousands. And then at the end of the day, I'm looking at my return and I'm thinking, was that worth it? I mean, I love selling all that. I love all the piles of boxes everywhere. I love the orange bars, but was that worth it? The return I'm getting back. So here is what I have started to teach in my community, and I am like practicing what I'm teaching here, because you really do get swept up in the FOMO of the next couple months of like sell, 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 and all of a sudden you're dropping your price and you cross that threshold of, is it worth it? It might still be profitable, but was it worth it? All the work, all the effort. So what I have is an Excel spreadsheet, and when I am looking at Seller Amp, I will see the breakdown of my profit, and on the back end, I have all of my extra fees included, shipping, everything you can add on the back end. So I know that net number is good, solid. So when I get home, I make an Excel spreadsheet. So for instance, what do I have around here? I have bolos around here. I can't show you. So for instance, I have this Funko Pop ornaments. And so these were actually on clearance last year. Let's say they were $2. So I will put it in my Excel spreadsheet for, this is what it costs, and this is my minimum. So when I'm busy and I'm running around and I'm like, wait a minute, what was my lowest price I wanted to not go under? I'll pull up my spreadsheet, just search Funko Pop or Funko, and it'll quickly show me like, don't go under $12.99. So I have that hard stop, and I don't have to like go to the drawing board, go through my receipts and like, where was my expense on this? How much? Like, I don't have to do that math on the back end. It's just a number sitting waiting for me if I need to see it, to know, set my repricer, don't drop below $12.99, or if you're manually repricing, all that is set. So that has really, I think, put some guardrails up for me. in my FOMO of selling and winning the buy box. I know that's really simple, but if you do that work for you now, your future self is going to thank you because you'll have that quickly to pull from. Again, if you're using a repricer, you could just manually put that in there so it's not going under, but a lot of times small sellers don't have repricers. We're manually repricing things and we never want to lose a buy box. But listen, we'll get to this place where you're putting in so much work, especially in the next couple months, and you feel like it's just not worth it because you've overextended yourself financially, you're pricing too low, you're running with the tankers to the bottom price. Like, set your threshold and stick to it, because what we do see a lot of times is sellers move out of their inventory and then the price does come back. It may take time, but that's again why I like to do all this research beforehand, so I'm not stuck afterwards holding the bag, if that makes sense. Listen, I hope this was helpful. I am wishing us all the best, most successful Q4 we've had yet. Thank you for watching this. Like it, comment below any other tips you have for Q4, any questions. I am excited to jump into the season with you. Let's get it. Until next time, see you at the Walmart Seller Summit.